Well, hi and welcome to my shop, and thanks so much for joining me here, keeping me company while I struggle away with what may be my own mistakes in this radio. Today is August 10th. Yesterday I took the day off. Didn't work in here at all. So the day before I replaced six electrolytic capacitors. Here they are. And I made a foolish move of not checking the operation of the receiver after each replacement. Somehow this time I thought I'd get it right for sure. The result is I've turned on the receiver and nothing comes out of the receiver. The amplifier is definitely working. The receiver is not. So, this could be a very, very minor thing. I don't want to rush in suddenly here and make assumptions about what has happened. I could easily make a bad assumption and go on a long journey looking for a problem which might be easy to find if I just think about it a little bit. And I had thought about it, actually quite a bit. So the first thing I did before turning on the camera here this morning, is I took a close look at all the work I did. And I didn't find anything that looks wrong, or I didn't looking for things like solder bridges I may have created in here, or when I was desoldering things looking for the right terminal, I may have unsoldered something like that. I didn't find anything like that at all, but I did find something totally unexpected. So now what to make of this, I don't know. What I did was I switched on the cameras here, so you can come along on this little ride with me. Now, I just discovered something, and I don't know what it means. What did I discover? Let's push this wire back up where it was originally. So, I very innocently, under close observation, got interested in this capacitor here for no good reason, and discovered it's not hooked up to anything. I then, I pulled it out now to look at it, but I also examined the situation to see I didn't do any soldering down in this area at all. I didn't do anything. So how does a capacitor get disconnected? I didn't have the cutters down in that area. Is this the problem? Now, interestingly enough, it's associated with this little circuit here, which for some odd reason they don't have incorporated on the board. What exactly this is protruding out here like this? I got another deal down here. I'm not quite sure. Test points come to mind. This is one way they do test points. I don't know. So I'm going to try to figure out where this capacitor is in the circuit. I don't know where this wire goes. It's just down there somewhere. I don't know where it came from. It's all quite mysterious. And is this the reason why the receiver wouldn't work? One little capacitor here? Not terribly likely. Could a radio like this work reasonably well with a component disconnected? It can. Some of these components are doing subtle things that engineers are pretty excited about, but your ear might not be so excited about them. So yeah, you could potentially disconnect a part here or there and maybe not even notice a change in the operation of the receiver. But really, for the most part, every part's got to be there for the most part. Part. Well, I'm going to start by examining the schematic, try to figure out what this is here and where and what is going on there. Nothing like a mystery to start the day. So the capacitor I'm trying to locate on this schematic here is not on one of the circuit boards, and that's the big hint. The circuit boards are denoted with a dotted line. See the dotted line going around here? So these parts are all on one circuit board. Here's another board going around here, and a third one down here. So the parts I'm looking for are not inside these dotted boxes, they are outside. So for instance, here's all the switches. They are mounted on the chassis, they're not on a circuit board, and you see there's no dotted line associated with them. So we can find some other parts here that are outside the dotted lines, like for instance here's all the output transistors, which we know are mounted right on the chassis, separate from the board. Plugs on the back. Here's a little circuit. Has a transistor in it. The circuit I'm looking for does not have a transistor in it. Here's another one. This is, let's zoom in on it here. Resistors, capacitor, but when I look at the little circuit I'm trying to sort or find, there's a diode in there. So it can't be this one. Come on, these are the tuning capacitors. They are also, yeah, mounted on the chassis directly. Okay, here's another circuit diode. Okay, a couple of resistors, diode, a capacitor. This could be the guy. So I'm going to look at the size of the resistors. Just zoom this in a little further. So I'm looking back at the radio now, and one of them I can see is yellow, purple, orange. That's 47K. We look in here. Look at that, 47K. Bingo. Okay, so this is probably the capacitor. Is there another one? Yeah, there's another one. Oh, 0.1. 0.1 to ground. This is a pretty large guy here. 0.1 to ground. And it's not, well, I was going to say it's not showing over here. That doesn't matter. This could be sitting in here still. So it might be this one, but it's a very, very small capacitor. You know what? There's a 0.1. There's a 0.1 sitting on that circuit. So that's the 0.1. So it must be this one. It must be this capacitor. The connection is between a resistor and a diode. So I'm looking again. Sure enough, between a resistor and a diode. So this is the capacitor. Where the heck does it go? Oh my, it goes right into the early radio stage here. You know, so what I'm thinking, of course, could this disconnected capacitor be the cause of the radio not operating? This is a really weird thing, isn't it? I changed 6 capacitors and then another one falls off the board. It's really kind of ridiculous. I'm starting to wonder what else could have happened here. So this has to get all the way up to here, Q203. Should be able to spot Q203. Let's look at it on the board diagram. Here, the board diagram. Okay, looking at it sideways here, 203. 203, looking at it sideways. There it is, Q203, right here. Okay, 5 hours has gone by here. I've been totally distracted by a whole series of things. So, I think I was about to show something rather extraordinary, surprising situation. I may have already shown it. Can't remember. 5 hours, you know, that's a long time to remember something for me. Okay, so this capacitor I discovered is connected to nothing down here. There's also a very suspicious looking terminal. I'm going to switch cameras. We'll take a closer look in here. If we can. Can I get it close enough? Good. Look. So what's going on there with that? It looks like a sort of looks to me like you would saw it. Looks to me. Okay, I think I know what I'm looking at. You see the hole there? That hole is so you can access the slugs in one of the IF cans, one of the IF transformers. So the can has 4 corners, and I think I see the 4 corners. One of them is the thing we're looking at right in the center here that doesn't appear to be soldered into anything. The other one's that big lug over there has a corner in it. And then I think up here are probably 2 corners, if you know where I'm talking about, which you probably don't, but that's okay. It would, like there's a little bit of solder on the tip of that thing. If we look at this in this wire, Darn mysterious. I don't know what to think about all that. You know, I'm going to wiggle a can and we'll see if the part there wiggles. Okay, here we go. You can see me flexing the board. Well, that there. You can see it wiggling there? That's me moving the can up and down. So that's definitely coming from the can. It's either a terminal inside the can or it's the corner of the can itself. I think it's the corner of the can itself. Now look at the way it comes through. There's nothing there to solder to. It's made to not contact anything, yet there's solder on the top and I got a part with nowhere to go and nowhere else in this area is inviting like that. Another bad, this thing here, this big thing right in the center now, that big chunk there, looks funny on the right. Get out of the way there. Yeah, okay, so that might be something, but I don't think it is. Okay, so do I just solder the capacitor onto that terminal? And that doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. It's on the schematic. Let's have a look on the schematic. Okay, on the schematic here. On the schematic. Now, this is the capacitor I'm concerned about. C41. Wire. Now that does not look like some kind of can. Or is it doing that over here? No. Sure doesn't look like this capacitor would connect to what appears to be a corner terminal on the can. Wiggled the can, the terminal moved. It's pretty convincing, really. It has the look of a piece of aluminum sticking down. It's got a chunk of solder on it. Is there another? Am I just getting it wrong here completely? I can't imagine. Is there another one? Ooh, there's a 0.01 up here. I have to find out what size this capacitor is. That's a good idea. Let's do that. Okay, we'll try reading it here. On this side, 4.7. That's pretty clear. It's not the best shape, is it? I don't know if the guy wiggled that part of it very much. Maybe it's just very fragile. So it's a 4.7. 4.7. Lead can only go so far. You know, for sure this is it. There's no connection there. No connection there. It connects to here. So I'll find 203. I'm having a deja vu here. I'll find 203. See if there's a spot where, like, you know, where this lead should pop through the board and be soldered. So 203. 203. There's 203. Just beyond the cans. Beyond the cans. Just beyond the cans. 203. And then this is the terminal in question. So this would be the actual lead from the transistor going through the board and getting onto this. And then we have this inside this can. This is it. Where's the wire? Where's the wire to that capacitor? Where's C? Where's the C? Where's C? Well, it won't be on here. Oh, this is going to present a problem. What's this? This wire coming in from where? MM. Uh-oh. A blue wire. Well, there's no wire involved here. It's a lead right from the capacitor. The capacitor goes to the terminal strip comes off a wire after that. Wow. So the capacitor was in a certain position when I found it. The position was kind of rammed back in. My assumption was that's where it came from. That some minor thing happened and it kind of broke off here, but maybe something big happened. Maybe somehow it got hooked. Maybe I did something, ripped it out of its spot. It's got quite a range. I should look at earlier videos of this radio and see if this isn't visible. And it's yeah, I should do that. I'm going to do that. Could this really want to come back to one of these terminals? All the way over to here. Yeah, I'm going to check on the video. See if I can find something about that. That'll be a bit of a hunt. Okay, take another close look here. Nice. So I looked at the video. Wouldn't you know it, I actually never videoed this exact spot we're looking at now clearly. I have some sweeping, passing shots of it, but I really can't get any idea where this wire was supposed to go from my previous video. But if you look down at the board, and I'm sorry, this is just a touch out of focus here. You see the big ground lug, and then right above it is the green, a strip with three terminals. One of them is that terminal of nothing on the left there. This one on the right, on that banana-shaped piece of trace there, it's right in the center of the screen now. It has a piece of wire sticking out of it. Well, that's a little odd, and the one beside it also, unfortunately, oh, there's more. I was going to argue that. There's one with a piece of wire sticking out of it. That must be the one. because that's unusual. But no, there's others with wires sticking out. Way over here. Look at that. Another banana-shaped piece. Wait a minute. So this is probably the next can over. Yeah. Definitely a similarity there. Well, there's no capacitor involved. Long wire left again. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this terminal we're looking at is the collector or emitter of a transistor. That doesn't look right either. You expect to find a cluster of transistor leads, kind of either triangular or shape or straight shape. So I'm putting my finger on the other side of this. Oh, that's not working out at all. Let's go over here. Okay, down there is what I think is Q203. Q203. Let me check this out. Okay, that's actually 204, Q204. There's Q203. Ooh, so what's going on the board there? Oh. Why all that gunk there? Oh, I don't know. There's no real gunk providers in that area that I can spot, so I don't know what that is. Okay. Probably not an issue anyway. So there we have Q203. Now on the back, Q203. Yes, it's definitely the one I was studying. That would be this one here. And So the question would be now, I'm just anxious of making a mistake here. If I were to solder onto that wire down there, let's see, let me move the wire down there, make sure it can reach. If it can't reach, it can't, or it can easily reach, I'm pretty sure. Easily go down there. All indications are it should be soldered to that spot there. Not that big ground lug, but either one of those two on the banana-shaped trace. And I'm gonna go for, I'm gonna do it. We're gonna see what happens. If this were my own stereo, I would be less hesitant. This isn't my own stereo, so I'm a little hesitant doing these things because there's just a touch of guesswork in this. And I don't like that part. The guesswork part. Okay. One of the things I like about engineering, science engineering, you could include medicine, any kind of scientific type investigation, and the engineering stuff that comes out of it is it's so fact-based. There's no subjectivity to it, and I like that. It's very hard for me to see in here. Maybe that's part of the problem here. This is the back side of the circuit board, and it's not normally. It's common to solder stuff on the back side of a circuit board. You can see other parts that are soldered on. But you're not putting it through a hole. Probably most of the time, I can't get a hold of that. Trying to solder to a lead sticking out. So there is a lead sticking out here. Let me pull it out. Okay, I just need a little more to solder to. Let's see if I can put a hook on the end here. Try to hook it. Hooked. Okay, could solder that. How about a COVID update here? So it looks like Canada's on the leading edge of the fourth wave starting here. Very disappointing to everybody because we kind of thought we got on top of it because the vaccination thing has gone very, very well in Canada. I don't know what the numbers are now, but it's something like 65% of people over 12 are vaccinated, something like that. It's pretty high. In some areas it's higher, of course. And people are still getting vaccinated. The program's going forward. Of course, as the pool of available people gets smaller, the number coming out to get vaccinated gets smaller too. It's like a diminishing return sort of thing happening here. But so we're right on the front edge of what looks like a very rapid rise, just shooting up. Our numbers here nationally were around 200 to 300 infections a day. That's very low. There's 37 million people here. That's very low. And but now it's around 1,500. It's something like that. So we're definitely going up. That's the story from Canada. And I think we're all thankful that the vaccination thing has gone well here, and I think we're one of the front runner countries for it. So how the virus attacks here, especially in another month or so, if it really gets going, when we have so many vaccinated people, will probably become a topic of interest, just like Israel was a topic of interest and the like. So the vaccinations here did not occur 3 weeks apart. You didn't get your first shot, 3 weeks later get the second shot. That did not happen in Canada. What happened in Canada was we delayed the second shot as long as we dare. That was about 12 weeks. So I think I got my second shot 11 weeks after the first shot, and something like that. And so that's a difference from some other countries where they really stuck to the 3-week thing. Anyway, that's it for the COVID update. Hey, it's time to turn this thing on. I don't even have to stop the video. Speaker poorly connected, but it's there. Okay, and here's our super fantastic FM antenna. Okay, put it on the sky hook. Now go around, switch it off. Put it on FM. Put on AM. Let's start with AM. Volume down. Plug this in. Last double check. Everything good. Going through the dim bulbs here. Oh, the switch isn't on. Okay. See if I get any really terrible things happen. Oh, good show. Got a nice panel light going and no dim bulb lights. That's good. So 115 volts getting to the machine. Good. Volume up. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. All that and nothing. Nothing at all. It really makes me think there's something, I've done something stupid here and I'm just not picking up on the stupid thing I've done. And there's really nothing wrong, except for me. You know, this just goes to show what happens if you shotgun capacitors. You get into a situation where you really don't know what has happened. Is it, assumably I made a mistake with one of those capacitors in there, but I've checked them again thoroughly, and no, I don't see any mistakes. So really messed up here. Let's put it on FM just to see what happens. And there's no action here either. There's like just nothing going on. No signal getting anywhere into the radio to be processed to cause the meter to deflect. Well, I hear a hum there. It's just a chance having these switches this way actually open circuits the inputs to the amp, which is a stupid thing to do because you get a hum out of it. Or am I got the buttons wrong? I'm just so worried I'm doing something really stupid here. That phonotape, FM, AM, volume. Okay, it's not that complicated a thing. Reverse them speakers. Make sure the volume's up. Volume's up when you're doing it. Push every switch. Wait a minute. We didn't have this over here first. It's just nothing at all. Okay. That's really that time on that capacitor. Well, maybe I made a mistake with that capacitor. Maybe it's gone to the wrong spot. Maybe my analysis was completely wrong. And what I've really done is I've introduced another problem into the radio. I don't think so. Oh my gosh. Let's just do some silly signal tracing. So I'm just going to touch a few parts here and there and see if it doesn't cause a response coming out of the radio. Antenna end is here, output end is there. couple transistors right here. No reason for this to make a big hum. This is really foolish. I just don't think I'm going to prove anything here doing this. It's much better approach would be to listening with the signal tracer. Listen along different spots. There's some test points related to this guy. Okay, in order to do that, I have to understand the circuit better and potentially where some test points are, and son of a gun. You know, it's karma.